Hey everyone, and welcome to the first video on this channel. If you've come from Instagram or TikTok, then you've probably seen some of my work. But if not, this is what I do. And this right here is one of the first miniature models I ever made. It was a 1920s Prohibition era bar that actually had a secret contraption on the back that revealed a tunnel for bootleggers to escape from the police. I remember at the time I was really happy with how this piece turned out. The structure, the mechanisms, everything, but especially the concept. The idea of having this secret compartment that reveals a tunnel for people to escape through was just something I was really excited about. So when I stumbled upon this piece going through some of my old models, I decided, why not remake it? But remake it better. So for that I needed to go back to the drawing board. I decided to start by basically breaking down the original piece. Elements that I liked, elements that I didn't like, stuff that I felt like I could improve on, and stuff that I felt like could basically stay the same. The base structure of the bar I felt could stay the same, as I still wanted the remade piece to resemble the original in some way. There were, however, some aspects, especially on the bar counter, that I felt like could have changed. The paneling on the front I felt like could be a bit more detailed. The bar top itself I felt like it could be curved, and I did want to add an additional flap for the entrance of bar staff, etc. The tunnel behind the bar was definitely something I wanted to improve upon in this new remake. The fact that the original only had a 2D painted image as the tunnel felt a bit flat, no pun intended. So with this piece I definitely wanted to add some more depth to the tunnel. The idea I came up with was basically to extend the set beyond just the bar itself, to include a wall and some flooring. This will not only act as a framing technique for the bar, placing it in a realistic environment, but it will also allow for some space in the back where the tunnel can extend from, giving it that depth that I was looking for. Once I was happy with the final sort of rough sketch, it was time to move on to the iPad. Basically just to clean up the design, make it a bit clearer for me when I'm working in 3D. I started off by building the body of the bar using the original as a reference. I decided to go a little bit smaller than the original due to the fact that I'm building a wall and some flooring around it, which will make the piece bigger in general. I tend not to glue down everything right away, especially during this stage, as your ideas are always fluctuating and it's really difficult and quite messy to change something once it's all been glued down. Moving now onto the counter of the bar. Something I always like to keep in mind is the fact that ideas are constantly forming. For example, when I was making the structure of this countertop, I decided to include a small shelf on the inside where I can put glasses and bottles when I'm detailing further down the line. Now moving on to the wall behind the bar. Seeing as this is a 1920s Prohibition style bar, I do want to include that Art Deco style somewhere in the model, and I feel like the wall is the best place to do this. Adding the panel design to the wall and using a specific colour palette, I feel like I can really communicate this 1920s Art Deco vibe. Now moving on to the floor. I decided to go for a curved floor as it will give a nice contrast to the straight lines and the sharp edges of the bar and the wall. The mechanism was definitely something I wanted to improve upon on this piece. While in the original the mechanism worked, I felt like it was a bit too flimsy. So I decided to counteract this by adding 2 instead of 1 contact points on either side of the mirror, so that when it gets pressed, it falls down seamlessly every time. And here we have the first test of the mechanism. Now adding some wood for the hardwood flooring. And it looks like I don't have enough wood to finish off the flooring, which is just my luck. Apologies, I will get that finished in next week's video. I had planned on stopping there, but then I decided to test out some colour choices on the wall. I decided to go for an olive green for a base colour on the wall, which will then be accentuated by the pattern or colour of the panels that I add on. There were 2 separate designs I came across when thinking about the panels. I'm not 100% sure which one I prefer, but I thought I'd pose the question to you lot. Let me know in the comments down below which design you prefer on the panels, the left or the right. And this is where I'm going to leave it this week. Let me know what you think so far. Next week will be all about colour. I'm going to be adding the wood to the bar, finishing off the wood flooring, varnishing everything, and potentially aging as well. So stay tuned for next week's video, and let me know down in the comments below which paneling you prefer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.